YouTube! It's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, sorry about that. I've been trying to finish school, which went well, everything's looking good for TAFE, and I now literally have nothing to do except read and internet, which kind of brings me to the point of this video. So the other day I was derping around and I wound up on fanfiction.net, as you do, and I came across a particularly interesting My Chemical Romance fanfiction, and I thought I'd do a dramatic reading for you, because everybody likes those. This is a dramatic reading of Sibling Rivalry, a My Chemical Romance fanfiction by Emo Kitty 13, XOXO. It was a good day in the emo lands. The hipsters were cool, the emos were crying, and there was not a popular kid in sight. Frank Lero, the king of the emo pride, was having sexual relations with his mistress, Mickey Way. Mickey Way, who is Queen Gerard's Way's brother, felt a little bad because he was having intercourse with his bro's king. But that was okay, because he loved Frank very much, and Jared was kind of a jerk. Ha ha. Suddenly, Jared Lettito, who is the king's emo advisor, flew into the room and said the Goths were rioting close to the emo herds again. No! Screamed Frank West. I must stop this before emos get hurt. Now! He brought Maggie with him to assist with the Goths. Little to their knowledge, Gerard had hatched a plan. An evil one. Gerard's plan was to kill Frank because he was jealousy that Mikey had stolen his man-boy king. When Frank and Moiki arrived at the land of Goths and riots, they saw that the Goths were making a stampede. "Oh no!" Frank yelled. "Mickey, run!" and grabbed him with his arms and throwed him to the safe zone. But then Frank jumped to the safe zone, but Jared was there and pushed him back into the stampede because he wanted to kill him. He laughed as the Goths ran over his manly pecs, which made him dead. When Moiki woke up from being hit in the head, he saw Frank's lifeless body. He skipped over to the body and cried. Hard. No! Why did this happen? Mikey sobbed into the air. Gerard told him that Mikey caused Frank to die because he loved him too much. So Mikey ran away to the desolated suburbs where no one lived except Ray Toro and Bob Breyer. Ray and Bob took Mickey in because they wanted an emo, and Mikey was really cute. Yes, the couple raised Mikey to be a flaming adult emo kid. One day, people appeared in the place where no one lived except Ray and Bob and Moiki. Her name was Hayley Williams, and she came from the emo lands. Mikey said, "Oh my God! I haven't seen you since the day Frank got dead!" And Hayley cried and told Mickey that Gerard took over the emo lands and made everyone join in the Black Parade, which is bad. "You should come back," she yelled. But Mikey said, "But I live here now, and I lick it here with Ray and Bob and no one else. I can't go back because everyone hates me because I made Frank dead and I ruined everything." He scrammed off crying until he got to the lake where he saw a beautiful purple cloud that looked like Frank. Suddenly, Frank appeared out of the cloud and said, "Moiki, you must go back to the emo lands. They need you there because you are prettier than Gerard. Go fight him. Now!" Mikey cried some more and whispered, "Okay," to the Frank cloud. But he saw that Frank disappeared, so he cried even more because he didn't get to say goodbye to the Frank cloud. When he was done crying like a baby, he found Hayley and Ray and Bob and told them that he would go back to the emo lands and fight Gerard and save everyone. They said, "Woohoo!" and told Mickey that they would join him in the fight for good and evil. When they got to the emo lands, Mickey saw how bad it got since he left. There was black and white marching people, and there was dead skeletons in the street. The marching people saw Moiki and yelled, "Yay! Mikey, you come back to us!" And Mickey said, "Yes, now where is Gerard? I must kill him to make the emo lands normal again." And the marching people said, "Over there with his evil sidekicks, Lady Gaga, Johnny Depp, and Pete Wentz, who doesn't get capital letters in his name for some reason." So Mikey and Ray and Bob and Haley went over to where Gerard and his evil sidekicks were standing and said, "We are here now and we must fight you for what you did to the emo lands." And Gerard and the evil ones said, "Okay," and began to fight. Ali and Lady Gaga was pulling on each other's hairs because that's what girls do when they fight. Suddenly Lady Gaga screamed, "Ah, you broken nail!" And then she cried whilst Haley punched her in the face until Lady Gaga was dead. Bob and Johnny Depp was wrestling on the floor. It made them look really gay, haha, because gay people have sex like that. Finally, Bob took Johnny Depp by the neck and strangles him to death. Ray was being kicked by Pete Wentz in the leg. It hurt a lot and he was crying like a baby. He said, "Please stop!" And Pete Wentz saw how sad he was and felt a little sorry, so he stopped kicking Ray. So Ray took out his shotgun and blew Pete's head off and laughed. "I tricked you," he said as Pete died. Then it was time to watch Moiki and Gerard fight. Gerard said, "Do you think you can beat me?" And Mickey said yes, because Frank said I could. "He loved me more than you and you're just jealousy." This made Gerard really mad and he threw dirt in Mikey's eyes. Gerard screamed, "I always hated you even though you my brother." He rubbed the dirt out of his eyes and said, "Oh yeah? Well, I never liked you either," and jumped onto Gerard's back and bit him all over the place. Gerard screamed and rolled around on the ground to get Mickey off him. When Mackie finally got off, Gerard pulled out a knife and put it to his brother's throat. Mickey said, "You can't kill me because I'm your brother and it would be too hard to kill someone you really love." And Gerard laughed and said, "It's not that hard because I killed Frank and I loved him so much more than you." Mickey gasped and screamed, "No!" and hit the knife out of Gerard's hands and beat him up. When Gerard was laying on the ground hurt, Mikey grabbed the knife and said, "Goodbye, Gerard," and he stabbed him in the heart. Then Gerard's body turned to dust because he was a bad guy. Suddenly, the emo lands turned back to normal. All the emos and Ray and Bob and Haley cheered for Mackie because he had saved them all and was now a god king of the emo lands. "Marry me!" Haley screamed at Mickey. And even though Mikey still loved Frank, he knew Frank was dead now and they could never be together again. Plus he kind of liked Haley a lot, so maybe he was only bi and not really gay like Gerard and Frank was. So he said, "Okay," and Haley became queen of the emo lands. Everything was good in the emo lands again. Ray and Bob lived with Mickey and Hallie because they were all best friends, and soon Haley had a baby emo Moiki, and they named her Jessie Slaughter because she was so pretty and emo. Now King Mikey and Queen Haley and Princess Jessie lived happily ever after. The end. Equals bracket. Yeah, well, I hope you all enjoyed that. My personal favourite part was when no one else realised that this fic has pretty much the same plot to The Lion King, which is effectively Hamlet. How did no one realise that? I will be back soon with another video. I'm going to talk a little bit about what happens when I go to work. Until then, if you want my Tumblr or Twitter, there'll be a link in the dink, as I'm now and forever calling it. And feel free to post a comment or response, and don't forget to subscribe. Chihuahua.
Yeah.